Please, yes. We have Dr. Pardhan here, and Ms. Rafiah will have question answer session with him. Dr. Pardhan is currently working with Institute of Educational Development as the Professor Emeritus and with the Office of Provost, Aga Khan University as a Special Advisor. He is holding the position of Professor and Director of Outreach Programs and Activities of the Institute. Dr. Pardhan is involved in Aga Khan University Institute of Educational Development planning in 1989 and played key role in its establishment in 1993. At Aga Khan University Institute of Educational Development, he has been in curriculum planning, teaching, financing, and administration. I am privileged to welcome Dr. Pardhan to the platform of International Teacher Leadership Summit. Thank you so much, sir. Over to you, Ms. Rafiah.
Thank you.
Rafiah, please unmute your mic.
Okay. Welcome, Dr. Pardhan. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Walaikum assalam. It's a pleasure to be here. What a wonderful session we had with Michael Fullan and some wonderful comments from everybody. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Ji, Dr. Pardhan, you had mentioned that you will be sharing some PowerPoint.
Well, you know, after what Michael Fullan has done, my presentation might look dry, but I think Rafiah, there are some amazing questions that are coming up. So yes. what I can do is that let me go back to my PowerPoint presentation. I don't want to make it boring, because after Michael Fullan, anything that you do becomes boring, you see. So let me try. Let me share my presentation on the screen, and then I will focus on some key issues, because I really think that what Michael Fullan has discussed, we really need to contextualize. How can we help our own teachers? How can we help our own system to bring about the change? Because we are not in England, we are not in America, we are in Pakistan, and we really need to be realistic. You see, I mean, and those of us who are attending this conference are perhaps more privileged than the whole population out there of 200 plus million people. So I really feel that we need to be very, very realistic and see how we can move forward. So let me try to put my PowerPoint on. If I can get screen share, I can do that. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
No? Yes,
we can. Yes, sir, we can.
Okay. So basically what I've done was, way back in 1990-91, I had the privilege of working with Dr. Michael Fullan when he was the Dean of Faculty of Education at University of Toronto before he moved over to OISE. He was part of a group that helped to establish IED. I was fortunate to be one of those people also. And together with us, we had Oxford University. And I think one of the key things that we were concerned about was, how can we empower the teachers so that they become so good in the classroom so they can manage the ever-changing curriculum. See, that was the key. And this was in 1990-91, and even today we are talking about the same thing 30 years later. Because education, while a lot of good things have happened in Pakistan, and I've witnessed that because for over 30 years I've been involved with IED, but in the rural settings, in many underprivileged areas, we still have problems. We still have problems because our teachers need the skills. The question is, how do we develop those skills? And I think that is what IED was established for. So let me move forward. Uh, um, uh, so this I've already talked about. Now, why was it necessary for IED to develop an institution like this? Because we were very concerned that anywhere you went in the developing world, the quality of education was deteriorating. And we said, how best can we address this situation? You see, our teachers were coming through not very good backgrounds. Their university education had a lot to be desired because our university education was not good. So we said that focus should be teacher. How can we help to develop their skills? Now, you know, when you consider that you have literally hundreds of thousands of teachers, you can't do it overnight. So you had to go step by step by step. So what we did was we first conducted some experiments in schools that the AKU Development Network runs in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, that's in East Africa, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh. And we focused on specific areas of school improvement. And after we had tested it, we found some very, very interesting thing. What we found that the teachers were extremely interested in improving themselves. But the question was, how do they improve themselves? You see, how can we improve their training? And we also found out that in all of these schools, when we did professional development at the school site, the results were very encouraging. So they did not have to go for professional development to some other institution and come back. We did it at the school with all the teachers involved. And remember the comment that Michael Fullan made, that how do the leaders participate with the teachers so that they are also learning? And that's the process that we were using already 30 years ago. And at that time, we were very convinced that the best way we can support is by developing an institution, which turned out to be IED in the, later on. And how do we create a base from where we can do research, where we can help to train teachers, where we can establish collaboration. Remember, Michael Fullan was talking about collaboration all the way through. And these are the kinds of things we were already talking about at that time. So at that time, we established a task force. We worked with University of Toronto, University of Oxford, and after planning of 4 years, it was not an overnight thing, because we had to think about a lot of minute things so that it becomes a sustainable institution. And mashallah, today, 25 years later, the institution is still going strong. So our objective was to develop skills of teacher educators and teachers through innovative programs. All these words Michael Fullan was looking. But we were also looking at testing models. And now I think the next one is the point that I would like to spend some time on. See, what we did at that time was that with the ID, we worked with 15 schools, and we picked those schools from the public sector, 6 schools from public sector, 6 from private, not-for-profit sector. So schools like Habib Girls School, we had the schools like St. Patrick's, we had schools like Al Murtaza School, Prince Ali Boys School, and then we picked 3 Aga Khan Education Service schools. So we were working with these 15 schools, and what we did was that initially we developed a capacity. So we ran a very innovative Masters of Education program in collaboration with University of Toronto and Oxford. And what came out of it was some amazing teacher educators. And we used those teacher educators, we placed them in the schools from where they had come from. And then we helped together to develop the capacity in the school. So we ran professional development programs for the teachers at the school and at IED. So they never went away from their context. And amazingly enough, the results were fantastic. And in fact, when I see most of those schools, except for the public sector schools, they took it up, and today all those schools are doing extremely well. So if you look at Habib Girls School, if you look at Al Murtaza School, if you look at the Aga Khan schools, all of them progressed enormously, and they institutionalized professional development. Why I say that this is very important is because it gives the teachers a regular way in which they can enhance their skills. And I think that is the need of the day. You see, to how do we help them to enhance their skills? I'll skip this next one because there is not much. Now, all evaluations suggested that in schools which we were operating with, the student learning outcomes were phenomenal. Now, we call them collaborating schools, and that's the word I'm proud that Michael Fullan is still using. And we found that these schools were located in Karachi. So we went to Gilgit-Baltistan, established a similar institution. We went to Chitral, established a similar institution. We then went to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania and established a similar institution. All of them started working with schools. And today, I think, and I would recommend that if you have not been in those areas, if you go to schools in those areas, you find some amazingly innovative work going on there. So what I'm trying to say is that, yes, it takes time, but it proved our point that we need to work with teachers. Teachers are our frontline people. And if we can encourage the teachers, we make them enthusiastic, I think the quality of education will improve kind of automatically. Why we went to Oxford and Toronto was very clear, because we wanted international credibility. We wanted credibility so that in Pakistan, when a teacher from IED went with a master's degree, and when people realized that, wow, they had support from Toronto, Oxford, and AKU, you know, it was accepted. And I think that helped to set our sustainability. So today also, when we talk of our AKU and AKU-IED, people know that the programs that are there are very, very credible. So today, for example, we have a PhD program. Rafiah mentioned that we are into research. We conduct lots of very exciting research, which is school-based research. We do policy research. In fact, a lot of our students currently are doing research on COVID-related issues. Ms. Karima Kara mentioned earlier on, Michael Fullan has mentioned, we are conducting research, and hopefully within a year, we'll have good results. We have an M.Ed program still going on. We have an MPhil program. We have outreach programs. We work with schools. And I would strongly recommend, Rafiah, that after this conference, maybe in order to make sure that we don't just lose all that we have learned, we should engage in a meeting, get some key educators so that we can see how best can we all work together, how can we collaborate so that we can start developing innovative programs, because we need collaboration, we need innovation. If we don't have innovation, we will not succeed, and we will have lost a phenomenal opportunity. Because remember, Pakistan also is a country with enormous gaps in equity. You know, we have rural people who are really suffering. We then have semi-urban people who are perhaps a little better off. Then we have elite schools who have tried their best to learn, but we can all learn together and see how best we can move forward. So my last slide is on COVID. We have started doing a lot of work with COVID. We have conducted lots and lots and lots of webinars. We have reached out to teachers. We have reached out to schools. And I think this work will not stop, and we should move forward. I will stop the screen share here. And if you have any questions, please. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't take away too much time.
No, Dr.
No, sir,
Pardhan,
thank
thank
you
you so very much. You were just on time, and actually we needed to contextualize what Dr. Fullan just shared in his session, and people to know where research is actually taking place and from where they can get guidance.
Yeah.
So any questions, anyone?
See, if there are no questions, let me take one of my comments a step further. You see, Rafiah, you have done something which is amazing. You have organized this conference. And I really feel that in order to get maximum benefit out of this, I think you should maybe try and form a group, and IED would be more than happy to participate. Let's put our minds together, see how best we can move forward, how best we can develop programs and processes so that we can reach out to our teachers, because our teachers need help. Even today, while we have done well, there are many schools that are doing very well. But remember, COVID was not there at that time. Now there is COVID. And how can we capitalize on all the lessons learned and see how best we can all work together and see if we can produce something good that Pakistan can be proud of, and we say that, yes, we did it and we shared it with the world.
We have already announced it yesterday only, and it was in the pipeline that we are forming a leaders group, education leaders group, teachers and head teachers. And anyone willing to join and wanting us to come and support them to run researches, because I've done a lot of classroom action researches while being on job, and also lesson study cycles. So we really now need to talk to teachers about these things, that lesson study cycle can be managed within the school by a group of teachers. For example, if you are having a problem in mathematics, so the maths teachers can form a group, and what happens is that they actually work on that particular topic or concept which they feel that overall the student are finding difficulty in. For example, ratio and proportion. So they make a plan, and 5 of these teachers make that plan together, develop resources, and look at the teaching strategies to improve the learning of the students. The first teacher then teaches her lesson, and after the lesson, these 5 teachers sit again together. They review each and every step. Introduction kaisa hua, teacher student communication kaisa tha, and but the students asking questions. Do you think jo kaam unko assign kiya gaya, does that show that their understanding is clear or not? So after that, for example, the teachers conclude after this discussion that introduction thoda aur strong hona chahiye. So they revise the introduction, and then the second teacher goes and teaches the same lesson again with a new introduction. And again, they sit and review. So this goes on till the lesson is perfected. The group can be of 5 teachers, but on the third lesson, you feel now it was the perfect lesson and the outcomes that you hope to achieve were achieved. So this is what lesson study is all about. And I can actually help give a session on it if people want. You already have the numbers, you already have our links to the pages, so you can request. Then classroom action research is something where you introduce new interventions and you actually scientifically keep record either qualitative or quantitative data, analyze it, and then you can write up a paper actually and send it for publication. So this is what teacher leadership is. जो कल मैंने शुरू किया था बताना, तो today with what Dr. Fullen said, we have to contextualize our learning also. We say that same book should be, the book can be the same, the curriculum can be the same, but contextualizing it as per the student body in the classroom is very, very important. And then looking at deep learning rather than surface learning where the children are rote learning or memorizing, and then sitting for examination. We also need to look at examination, like how can we make it more formative, student portfolios, and giving that leverage to the students to decide how much more they want to learn. So basic आपने पढ़ा दिया, उसके बाद वो बच्चा अगर उसमें advance करना चाहता है and wants to practice it more or reach a higher level of understanding, so that opportunity should be there for the students. So we have gifted learners also. I feel the gifted learners भी उतने ही बेचारे neglected है जितने हमारे students at risk है. Student at risk को तो फिर भी देख लिया जाता है कि ये बच्चा fail ना हो तो उसको थोड़ी support दे दी जाती है. But when we talk about the gifted learners, I think they are totally the lost cause in the classroom. And that then becomes a problem. A parent like myself was able to address this for my eldest daughter because I was an educationist. But think of other parents who are not as educated, but they have a gifted child in the class. So tapping into the potential of not just yourself as a teacher, okay, what is the height that you can reach as a person? हम जो है बड़े साबिर शाकिर तो नहीं है, but टीचर्स जो हैं बड़े ही हम्बल से होते हैं, जो कहते हैं हाँ ठीक है मैंने पढ़ा तो रहा हूँ अपना सब्जेक्ट, मुझे ये सब आता है, पढ़ा भी लिया, बच्चे भी मेरे पास हो गए. But look above that. Look at what you can contribute to the teaching profession. So you can be part of the writing textbooks. Some teachers have started. You can be part of developing these resource materials for each other and collaborating. Like एक अगर मैथ्स टीचर का पूरा ग्रुप है तो क्लास 6 का एक टीचर कर ले, क्लास 7 का दूसरा कर ले, क्लास 8 का तीसरा कर ले. So you can do a lot of collaborative work very professionally. And
I have a suggestion, Rafiah.
जी जी.
Many years ago, IED used to run a number of subject associations. One of them was Mathematics Association of Pakistan, which had some very, very good teachers. And you see, in order for you to do all this, you need a home. And Math Association can become a home so that they've got a venue where they can be meeting regularly to do all the good things that you have talked about. And it's just a matter of writing to IED or writing to me, and we will be more than happy to host those teachers who are interested, work out what is it that they want, and we've got some very, very good people who can work on it.
Yes, this idea was presented at Spelt conference also. We recently had a Spelt anniversary. So somebody mentioned this, that we have a language teachers association for English language teachers. Why don't we have social studies association? Why don't we have a mathematics association?
We have all of them at IED for the last 20 years.
Yes.
And we get fantastic participation from teachers. So I think it's a matter of just knowing that it exists, because we don't advertise it big way, because there is only so many that we can accommodate, but we would be more than happy to participate.
Yes, and the main lesson from Michael Fullen's session was we have to go towards deep learning, and deep learning is where you know who you are as a person and what you need to learn to grow and prosper as a person, as an individual, and the benefit that you can give to the community. Because जो अब मसाइल हैं पूरी दुनिया में, the global challenges that we have, we need to collaborate, we need to teach our children to collaborate, and the professions are also changing accordingly. So there has been a lot of interest in environmental changes and environmental problems that we have. And so many new sciences have emerged from there. So पहले तो सिर्फ environmental studies या environmental sciences पढ़ते थे, but now we have got engineers, we have got people who are looking into different aspects of the environment. So there are so many things that is happening. And then he talks about the moral imperative of leadership, which is one of my favorite books that I read for my thesis on education leadership. And he also talks about morality, about the decisions we take as individuals, as teachers. So we have to look at those decisions, that are they relevant to the present time? Do they solve problems? Do they give equip the children with those skills that they need to tackle those problems? Because हमने जो learning की है अपने schools में अपने ज़माने में, that was for our time. Now the times have totally changed. So to be able to inculcate those skills and those attributes in your students, the teachers must first develop it themselves. So if you are asking children to be compassionate, you have to be a compassionate teacher. If you are asking students to be critical thinkers, are you a critical thinker yourself? So we need to look at ourselves as individual teachers and then the group of teachers, and benefit and learn from each other. So अगर एक बंदा बहुत critical and analytical है आपके staff room में, you can learn from that. And if you are compassionate, you can teach compassion to the rest of the staff members as well as the students.
Agreed. Yeah, so anyways, the offer is on, and I hope they can reach out to Math Association, and we will be more than happy to help.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Pardhan. So it's, I think, time for tea break.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, Ms. Rafiah and Dr. Pardhan. It was such a profound discussion. And now we will have a tea break. But with that, we are leaving you with our quiz question. So please do answer the quiz question till 4 o'clock. So at the end of the day, 4 p.m. So at the end of the day, we will come up with the name of the winner. So please give the answers and achieve valuable prizes. So stay tuned. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Pardhan.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure. Really enjoyed Michael Fullen.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Will this video be available on any website?
No, Dr. Pardhan, we will be uploading on our YouTube channel later on. First, we will be actually making individual videos. So this session, which we had, your session and question answer session, when it is ready, I will send it to you.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much. Really, really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And good luck.
Thank
Thank you.
you.